Joining us now is Sheriff Mark Lamb of Pinal County, Arizona. Sheriff, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, John. I appreciate it.
We love having you, and I want to start off with some Second Amendment questions. I live here in California, so I'm used to flirting with felonhood because every day in California it seems like something else is banned. But President Biden announced today new regulations on ghost guns. Do you think that these regulations are necessary? Are they good for our country? What's going to be the ultimate result of this?
Now, I don't think anything that restricts our Second Amendment rights are good. I mean, the majority of the people that they're trying to target don't care about the laws. Gun control is exactly that, control. They want to control the people, and they know that one person with a gun can control a lot of people. And if you eliminate that, that gives them so much more control over the American people. And if it's ghost guns, whatever it is, they're just trying to do what they can. When I go speak to people, I say, look, as far as the Second Amendment is concerned, do not give an inch because they will take every bit of it after that. They are not, all they want to do is disarm the public. And in reality, you're disarming law-abiding citizens and you're allowing the criminals to still carry guns, but now they don't have to worry about law-abiding citizens with guns.
Yeah, it's a backwards equation, isn't it? Sheriff, you're right there on that border. Title 42, the president's going to lift it in the next month. How big a crisis is it going to be for your county, your state, and really for the whole country?
John, that's a great question, but I think the better question is how much more will this throw gas on what is an existing crisis? It is already there. Like, we passed this a long time ago. Starting when they took office last year, this has been a complete and utter disaster. It progressively gets worse and worse every month. And the real issue behind removing Title 42, among the other things of COVID and all that, the issue is you're sending a message to the world, to these people, that the cartel is more than happy to market that throughout the rest of the world as well. You're sending a message that we don't care anymore, that our borders are open and that anybody can come in. And so that's really where we're going to see the increase in numbers. And the cartel, their business, they're going to go advertise in these other countries so that people will show up and pay them and they'll bring them across and they'll be here in America. So it's going to be disastrous. We went from 166,000 apprehensions, or excuse me, 163,000 apprehensions in February to 217,000 apprehensions in March. And I imagine that could go through the roof to up to 4, maybe 500,000 apprehensions this month.
Wow.
Yeah, Sheriff, so often, even when you have an administration like the Trump administration who supports border security, so often you find that border security gets gunked up in the process, in the bureaucratic and legislative process. And that's the same thing with state officials in border states as well. But for you in Pinal County, is there anything you can do autonomously to try to abate the influx that's going to happen as a result of lifting Title 42?
Yeah, we do it every day, Amanda. We're out there. I've got my canines who are completely dedicated to interdiction on the highways. I have an anti-smuggling unit. My aviation unit is almost completely dedicated. Other than search and rescue, they're completely dedicated to assisting Border Patrol in their mission. I just was at the governor's office today talking with some of our legislators in the governor's office about different measures that we can take, funding resources. We're doing everything we can, and I know our sheriffs in Yuma County and Cochise County, and for a lot of the sheriffs in Texas, we're all trying to apply as many resources as we can without taking away those resources from our community members as well. But yeah, we're fighting every day, and we're dedicated to it. We're going to continue to do it, and hopefully anybody out there that wants to support sheriffs that are standing up for the rule of law still, please come support us at protectamericanow.com.
Yeah, no doubt. That's important. One of the consequences of your officers out there working hard is there's been so many crimes against police. You recently had a deputy who was shot there. Can you give us an update on their condition, and also this wave of violence, unprovoked violence on police officers? How big a crisis is it?
I appreciate you asking about him, and thankfully he is doing well. This is going to be a long road for recovery for him. He was shot in the high leg. It actually nicked his femoral artery, and if it wasn't for good training and great deputies who showed up and took action, and for a calm deputy, we would probably have lost him. So I'm grateful that he's still here with us. He's recovering, and thank you to everybody who prayed for him and for the support that we've had. You're going to continue to see this kind of behavior from people as long as our government, our mainstream media continue to badmouth police and continue to undermine the rule of law. The border is one of those areas where they undermine the rule of law. States like California, Amanda, I'm sure you probably see it. They're allowing trespassing. They're allowing people to come in and steal whatever they want out of stores. All of these things just deteriorate the rule of law, which is one of the strengths of America. And we in law enforcement will feel the effects of this. That violent and aggressive behavior that is apparently tolerated by especially politicians on the left. I think we're going to continue to see this, and it's sad. And I hope the American people show the support for law enforcement this year in the election polls, and we get these people that don't support us out of office.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of viewers of our network who do support you guys. So for our viewers who want to do something, because I know morale has got to be at an all-time low for sheriff's departments, police departments, border patrol, how can our viewers show support to help, I guess, boost that morale a little bit?
Well, first and foremost, just keep praying for our guys. Pray that they're protected. Their families are blessed for their service, because this is not easy on not only them, but on their families. But, honestly, a simple thank you goes a long way. Seeing somebody at a store, a police officer, just saying thank you, or making sure that your cities and your localities have administrators, leaders in law enforcement that are willing to stand up for their people as well and put politics aside and stand up for what's right. A lot of the issues we're dealing with in law enforcement right now are because of weak leadership in this profession. Guys who have let the line be moved back. And so a challenge to all those who lead agencies out there: stand up for the rule of law, stand against these ridiculous measures that people are putting in there, and stand up for your people, and support those type of police officers that are doing that. It's not always pleasant. It's not always popular, but we're trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, that is for sure. And I know that is pretty wise words to the public here. I want to turn, there's a lot of efforts, and we've got about 2 minutes left, Sheriff, there are a lot of innovations trying to help law enforcement do things even when the federal government absconds with its own responsibilities. There's a new legislation being proposed in Congress that would let local law enforcement enforce federal immigration laws when the federal government fails to do so. What's your thought on that? I
would like that. It would fill our jails up immediately. I mean, we're pulling over 3, 4, 5 cars a night that are full of people. I had one deputy who had 7 traffic stops in one shift. All 7 of them were human load vehicles. I still think that needs to be done, but it would create a strain on local law enforcement, our jails, and all of that. But, we've got to do what we've got to do to protect this country. We cannot continue to allow the flow of human trafficking and drug trafficking in this country that the cartel is responsible and making money on, and that is destroying our communities and American civilian lives.
Sheriff, I just want to squeeze in one more question. For legal immigrants there in Arizona, specifically Pinal County, these are folks that have done things the right way. I know that illegal immigration has a huge impact on their communities as well. I've got to feel like there is an uprising and a resurgence of support for Republicans and conservative candidates within those immigrant communities.
Yeah, great question. They are frustrated too. The majority of people that come here to make a better life, who love freedom, who want the American way of life, those people believe in family values. They believe in conservative ideals, and they're realizing that more and more every day. And I think you're going to see a shift of a lot of people, especially amongst the Latin communities, that will vote to defend the family, to defend freedom, to defend this country that they've come to love and appreciate.
Well, polling is certainly going in that direction, and you're right. So many of those values do align more with Republicans. But Sheriff Mark Lamb, we appreciate you. We'll get an update from you soon. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, John and Amanda. Appreciate it.